Howdy, y'all. Howdy, as Minnie Pearl would say. I don't have on a hat and I don't have on a price tag, but do have on a shirt that I got up here in Ellijay on sale about 3 years ago, and I forget that I have it. And I forget that in the summer they have these sales going on, so go hit a local store, look at the summer merchandise they're marking down, and see if you can afford it. But first go to the grocery store and see if you're going to have any money left. That's a whole nother thing. I was so excited to have Miss Hilda with us yesterday because we talked about the Georgia Mountain Fair, and she left some information on it. And I want to remind y'all the Georgia Mountain Fair starts August the 16th and runs through the 24th. If you have not been there, or if you're new to Georgia and you're looking for somewhere to go, the Georgia Mountain Fair is the perfect place. Great value, great entertainment, and a lot of fun. And if you don't make it for the August because it's hot, then try October 11th through the 19th, and all during the year there are concerts there. So get online and check out the Georgia Mountain Fair. The Georgia Mountain Fair, 73 years old now, has provided so much entertainment for so many people, and such an opportunity for local talent to get out there and to open for many of the big bands. And Miss Hilda has always supported those local musicians that are amazing. They have a house band that is comprised of a bunch of locals, and that's kind of what these mountains are about. Folks getting out, gathering together with their dear friends and their loved ones, sitting on a porch, picking and grinning. And today we're going to share some of that with you because 2 years ago, I had this idea, and I said, I really need to sit down some people and interview them because they're getting older. Well, the good news is, it's 2 years later, and the ones I interviewed are still here. So, hallelujah for that. You know, they have made it past old age, and now they're into older age. But we're going to share some of that with you. We're going to share the beginnings of ETC because Vic Davis was the beginning of ETC. He and his brothers got out here right where I'm sitting. You know, they had this was their little set, and brought some great musicians in every single day. I remember the first time I saw the Parton family stand up here at ETC. Love them, still love their music, would love to have time to spend some time with them. Just good folks. And that's kind of what built ETC, was local talent, local folks talking about local things, and that's kind of what happens. Well, now today we're going to look back, and I want you to look at local us. That was a long time ago, and that was when I had black hair, and it was real black hair. It wasn't out of a bottle. It was really my hair. Is that not crazy, y'all? My husband's been gone for 22 years. And honestly, it's so weird because 22 years. And that picture is old. That's at Cool Springs Baptist Church. And it is absolutely crazy, but that's when Jean was getting married, and that was a long time ago. So, you know, our memories kind of make us who we are today. Those memories will often make you smile, often make you cry, but they're in our heart, and they're there forever. Now that is, we call them little monkey feet. That is Dawn. Cherokee Dawn turned 50 this year. And we've been kind of celebrating the fact that she made it to 50. She has been doing amazing. She's working, she's canning, she's gardening. She's doing everything she can to get the cabinets stocked for winter, and that is my first grandbaby. And I became a grandma way too young because her mom was kind of young. And Christy is now not living near us, but I send her packages, and I always send books. And she loves reading the books that come from the people who come to visit me often bring me a copy of a book, and I put it in a package to my granddaughter who loves to read. So it's been awesome to be able to share that. Now there's the great grandbaby. So we're looking back, and I'm thinking, I became a grandmother young, I became a great-grandmother young, but I get to enjoy these babies. Is that not awesome? That is Xana Jordan, and can y'all believe she's almost 2? It's crazy how this 2 years has just flown by. During that time, I had not been diagnosed yet with the skin cancer. And right after that, I was. And right after that, I went through so many crazy things, but y'all were right there with me. And I just want to say thank you for that. Now, that's one of my favorite memories because many, many trips to Alaska, we always went down to the spit and we always had halibut. And that halibut doesn't get any fresher than this. These have just been caught. They will just be processed and you will be eating them. That is the Russian River in Alaska. And today I want to share with y'all your dreams, your wishes, your thoughts, anything you've ever said, I'd really love to do that. Do it today. Make plans to do it today. Don't sit and wait, because if you look at the obituaries last week, a lot of folks in last week's obituaries were younger than me. They didn't get to live their dreams. So today, begin living your dream. Today, begin going where you want to go. Now look at that. Is that not the sweetest thing ever? And I will tell you, there's never been a bond quite like these two. They are the sweetest two people, and just Ansley loves that baby. Now this, we're going back to memories because I was sharing with somebody how you can use the things that you have and continue using them over and over and over again. That table sitting there is a chicken coop. Do y'all remember when wooden chicken coops were in the trucks as they deliver the chickens to Tyson and Pilgrim and everywhere else they deliver those chickens? Chicken coops made my table. Now that is, well, that was my George Bush room. I got over that. I got over all that, and I don't have a George Bush room anymore, but I loved it, and it was army green. It looks black, but it was army green because I wanted a room that reflected America. I had an eagle sitting on my desk. I had American flags in there. We have to hold the pride and the love we feel for our country in our hearts every single day, and we need to share that with other people. America is such a blessing, blessing, blessing. Now that is the best house plan ever built, and I love it. And one day, maybe I'll rebuild that house. Maybe I'll change a few things, maybe not. But I love a simple house plan that just says, welcome home. And we got the biggest compliment at Malone's Pond this week. Somebody was in and she travels the world and she said, I've been here, I've been there, and da-da-da-da-da. And they just stayed and visited, and they said, but this place feels like home. Isn't it wonderful to just find somewhere that feels like home? Isn't it wonderful to just settle in and enjoy the little things of life? Doesn't take a bunch of big stuff. If you're living where we live in Gilmer County, Pickens County, Cherokee County, Fannin County, up in Turtletown, we have so many amazing things that don't cost us a penny. Now that is why I love light colored wood. It's bright, it's cheerful, it's happy. You never walk in there feeling gloom and doom, you know. It just keep things light and bright, and I love that, love that, love that. And that is Miss Maggie Johnson's table that I still have today. And love antiques, love those sweet memories. That's kind of what life is about. So today we're gonna reflect with some people that you know and love, I know and love, and we're very blessed. Now that table is made from the doors at Harris Farm, and Harris Farm has been there since the early 1800s, and the doors are the benches, and the two doors is the kitchen, is the table. And as you see, it's a big table, but that's once again using those memories. Keep those memories alive, keep the memories of those that you love alive, but learn to use the stuff you treasure. Don't just sit it on a shelf. Don't just sit it on a shelf. Get it out, use your grandma's dough bowl, use your grandma's mixer, use the things that are special to you. And I always had things that I loved, and it was always sitting around. And then later in life, I realized if I don't use it, nobody's going to. So I started using it. Now that's a preview of what we're going to talk about today, guys. You see the lady in the middle, she went to be with Jesus. And we're going to talk about there's something worse than death. When you die and you go to be with the Lord, that's a pretty good day for you. It's not a great day for your family, and it takes a lot of time to get through it. But we all know that if you know the Lord, it's going to be a good day when you get there. Now that is one of my favorite sweet memories. Love, love, love. Bree loved Rich. We had so much fun here at ETC. You talk about the early days. That was the early days, and it's crazy. So many things have changed, and everybody's grown up. That was before Bree even had her beautiful young daughter, and now, you know, she's a teenager. So it's crazy how time is flying. We have to accept today. Now, that's the man responsible for me having a great life here at ETC for all these years. And that's my boyfriend, as his wife called it. Precious, precious Laura and Carly at Abernathy. Loved those people. They have gone to be with the Lord, but we got to spend time with them. We got to learn to love them. We got to accept so many amazing things that happened through ETC. There's my dear friend David White. There's Shirley. And this young man is very, very talented. And he doesn't think he's talented, but he's very talented. He draws all the time. And he has a collection of things he did of Dale Earnhardt. And I'm like, you know, you made him look like Dale Earnhardt. But this one I thought was really, really cool. Because who doesn't remember Clint Eastwood? Our viewers are very, very special to us. And our viewers have come and gone because many of them have gone to be with the Lord. And I look back and I think about the people that are gone from our lives. We have amazing memories, and those memories will get us through the days that we think we can't make it. We're going to make it. Now see, y'all, I did have black hair, and I swear that did not come out of a bottle. That was me, black hair. Real black hair. I don't have that anymore. I don't have that anymore. But what sweet memories. What sweet memories. And I bet Mary Jane Reed will recognize that picture because that was taken at the hair hutch in Jasper, where she had a beauty shop for many, many years. It's crazy how fast time goes. Now that is one of our first live shows that ETC did when we were traveling. We went up to McKaysville and all the crew went. We had such a good time, and just getting out with y'all. So you are the reason that we have done this for so many, many years, because you stopped me in Walmart, you stopped me in Ingles, you stop me and say, hey, I watched that, and that was my school teacher, that was my friend, that was my dad's friend. It's been amazing to be able to showcase y'all. So today we're going to showcase a couple of very, very special people. That is my granddaddy, and there's trouble. There's double trouble. There's Tim and crazy Mr. Ellijay. And that was a day that he said, I want some rutabagas. Can you cook rutabagas? And I said, I hate rutabagas, but I'll do it because we're doing a heart of the home. And we wanted to do vegetables, and we want to show how you take the bounty that the Lord has given you. We did fried turnips, and oh my gosh, they were so good. We had turnips and creamed corn and sweet potatoes and greens and wings, and oh my gosh, it was so good. And I thought, how am I going to serve this up so it looks pretty cool? And I just decided we'd do it in my biggest iron skillet that Hans Ruffert gave me. So, and that, as Dwight Sanford called it, was holy halibut. That is the best fish in the world. Heart of the Home has been a big part of my life, and it's because it started right here at ETC. There are so many things that ETC did and said, hey, would you try this? Could you do this? Could you do that? Sure, let's try it. And it worked. So today we are going to share some very, very special memories. But I have some special prayer requests today. I have two very dear friends who are facing something very different. One of them has gotten a medical diagnosis that was not good. She lives up in North Carolina, precious, precious lady who lost her only son a few years ago, and like me, she struggled with the loss of her son, and it's been really, really hard on her. But she got a bad medical diagnosis, and we want to just pray for her. Just pray that something happens either way. She's a winner either way. And then I have another friend over in Alabama that we've been friends forever, and she's faced a lot of stuff in the last year or so. But right now, the fight to keep her husband's memory and his mind going, because he is battling dementia, it's tough. It's really, really hard. And so many of y'all out there have faced it yourselves, or you have a family member. You know somebody who is fighting that. You know how hard it is. And please say a prayer for them, because what we're going through today, maybe a little traffic, maybe a little rain, maybe something just silly, but if you have your loved ones here, such a blessing. But I'll tell you, there's something worse than death. There's something worse than death, and it is to see somebody suffering and to see somebody struggling And we know that death, if you believe in the Lord, that is the ultimate reward. So let's pray for them and pray that, I hope that things turn around and things change for both these ladies. So say a prayer for them. And today we are truly going to share some very, very special moments. And the special moments, a lot of them happened right here at ETC, because I ran into a lady in Costco many, 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 many years ago. I was in Costco and I was coming out and she was going in, and she said, "You're Sherry Martin." And I said, "Yes, I am." And the rest is history. You got to know her, you loved her, we all miss her. And from this, we're going to show a little look back at some of the shenanigans that Jen and I were into, and we were any and everywhere, you never know. She's the last person that talked me into going to the Fox Theater, and I said, "I don't like Atlanta, I don't want to go back to Atlanta," and she talked me into it. So sometimes she could coerce me to do things I didn't really want to do, but I did it because it was good for both of us. So we're going to share some memories of her, and then a very special interview with Vic Davis. So here we go.
That one, but I want that. I want that. I want that. Tim, better get it to me. I'm gonna take it anyway. Thank you. I love that.
How sweet. What a sweet memory.
The peanut butter offset the hot pepper jelly.
God.
And the hot pepper jelly is so distinct. You gotta try one.
I will do that.
Not a great big one. You can't eat a lot of it.
Yeah.
But Fred and I had talked about that.
My mama said, "Don't deface your body," and so I couldn't do that. But it was so funny because Angela got her first tattoo. She was married, she had a child. Wasn't any of my business what she did, but I'm her mama. And I looked down at her leg and I said, "What is that on your leg?" And she said, "Yosemite Sam." And I said, "What is he doing on your leg?" And she said, "I got a tattoo." And I said, "That thing better wash off." Without crying. I celebrated her life.
We are celebrating Angela's life. God gave you a gift. He might not have given you that gift, but he did.
In 1969.
But you know what? I feel better than I felt before. And I look better, and my labs are excellent. The doctor on Tuesday talked about, he said, he said, "I'm reading in here, one doctor called you in the file a tough old bird." He said, "Honest to goodness."
Rockers on the front porch singing old familiar song. The tractor's in the barn and the pastor's freshly mown. Looking through the screen door, the aroma draws you in to the heart of the home where old memories begin. The heart of the home keeps calling you in. Sherry's in the kitchen cooking with her friends, sharing recipes together, stories and songs, making new memories, the heart of the home. The heart of the home keeps calling you in. Sherry's in the kitchen, cooking with her friends, sharing recipes together, stories and songs, making new memories, the heart of the home. Making new
Hey y'all, I am lucky enough to be visiting with an icon in Gilmer County. Did you know you're an icon, Vic Davis? Anybody ever tell you was an icon?
Well, I've been called worse.
Can we talk a little bit about the old days? Because we're sitting out here watching a pot be cleaned on a fire. Does that kind of remind you of things your mama might do?
Yeah. So the pot for sure, because I've eaten lots of meals out of something like that.
Yeah. And would your mama have built a fire sometimes if there was a hog killing?
I'm sorry.
Would your mama have built a fire sometimes if there was a hog killing?
Oh yeah, she never had an electric stove. We always had a fireplace, and finally did get a heater for warm by, and of course had to build fires and that. Dad was most of the time he built the fires, but she could.
She cook on a wood stove?
Oh, cooked on a wood stove all of her life. She never had an electric stove.
Wow. Did she have indoor plumbing?
Never had the indoor plumbing.
Oh my goodness.
Me and my brother Larry, you remember Larry, of course.
Yes.
After we got out of school and we didn't make much money and couldn't help much, but we always talked that if we wished that our mother could have lived a few more years so we could maybe help get water in the house, but of course we never did. And, she died early age, really 49 years old.
Oh no, yeah. Wow.
She was 2 weeks short of 50.
Goodness gracious.
She had cancer and suffered horribly. That was, back then, people didn't run to the doctor like they do now. And you waited till you're almost dead before you went. But yeah, she wasn't an exception. It was just a rule. Practically everybody was about in the same boat. Some people were a little better off than others. But,
what year were you born?
1934.
1934. And so would your mama have been born in the early 1900s?
She was born in 1904. Her and my father both. She was actually, I understand, about 3 months older than him.
Yeah.
But they were both born in 2004.
In 1904.
1904, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Did you see things in your lifetime that you wish you could have been different parts of? Did you live without plumbing? Did you give up on things that you wish you had had?
Well, we didn't know any better. So as far as like toys, that's one thing I think it was good for us in later life. Larry, of course, we made our own toys. We'd take a block of wood and of course Larry he'd make his better than mine. He'd cut little springs and make springs and put under his. I just put wheels on mine and push it in the dirt.
Wow.
And I don't ever remember having bought toys. We made them, but it was good training in a lot of ways. It was just a way of life.
How long did your dad live?
He lived till he was 65, barely.
Wow.
Yeah, he lived several years after Mama. And Dad was real handy. He could back in those days, when they baled hay, they used wire. And he could take a pair of pliers and hay baling wire and just fix anything. And Larry took after him a whole lot, maybe me a little bit. Of course, Larry went on to be an expert mechanic, self-taught, and made a good living. And I've had some mechanical ability, maybe, and was able until 2 or 3 years ago to keep up my own stuff mostly. And I built motors, but a lot of it came from having to do stuff when I was young.
Well, here you are, 88 years old, and you're the shop foreman at 57 Heaven. That's pretty awesome, isn't it?
Well, I got that name. I don't know if I deserve it or not.
I think you do.
Maybe I've been a little help. The first thing I helped Dwight with was one of his old GMC truck, and it hadn't run in lots of years, but that's something I kind of cut my teeth on, and he asked me if I'd help him get it going. And he gives me more credit than I deserve, I think, but I did help him some get it going.
That's an awesome truck, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure is, yeah.
Yeah, now let's talk about trucks, because I'm going to get a little close up, but you've got a beauty right there. Tell me about that truck.
Well, that's a 1936 Chevrolet. I had restored not a lot of cars, but a few cars, and I built a 36 Chevrolet two-door sedan for my daughter and gave it to her for a wedding present. That was 1980, and I told Larry one day, I said, if I restore another vehicle, I'd like for it to be a pickup. Well, he went to Valdez, North Carolina, where his sister-in-law lived, visiting, and he come back and he said, I found your truck.
Wow.
So told me what it was, and I called the guy, and we made a deal. And I didn't ask enough questions. I asked him if it would, I don't know how much of this boring story you want to hear, but I didn't ask him enough questions. I asked him if it would run, and that was about it. And he said, oh, yes, it'll run. Well, when we got there, it was on a January the 1st or 2nd, 3rd maybe, in 1969, and he had the thing running. Well, water was gushing out of the radiator, and it would run, but it didn't have any lights, it didn't have any muffler, and no heater, and water pouring out of the radiator, and we was 250 miles from home and planning to drive it home.
Oh, no.
Well, make a long story short, we rounded up, it turned out to be the water pump, and one of his relatives up there knew where an old used motor was, had one on it, and fortunately it fit. And we took off about 1 or 1:30 one day, 250 miles from home with that thing, and drove it all the way home until it got so dark I couldn't drive anymore, and I was just this side of Gainesville. And Larry got out, and it had the old wires in under the hood, was just frayed, and he started hooking wires together, and the fire just flying everywhere, and finally 2 lights came on. and we jumped in it and made it home after dark.
Wow.
And I said all that to say this. I drove in the yard, and it was after dark by then, of course, and I told my wife, Sally, that I bought a truck, and so she went out and walked around it a couple of times, and she liked old cars, but maybe not as good as I did, but she walked around it and said, that's mine. So from that day on, or that night on, it was her truck. Well, many years later, I finally got started on it in 1985. I tore it all down, and I did all the mechanical work, set the motor up in it, put a later model engine and automatic shift and all the newer stuff to sort of make a driver out of it. And she never would really admit it was hers, but it was in her name. I'd tell her to go look at the tag receipt.
Well, let me take a break right now, because I'm going to move so we can put that truck in the shot. So
Okay.
I'm going to move just a minute. Hang on just a minute.
Whether you're in the mood for chicken strips, a delicious burger, our classic banana split, or an upside-down thick blizzard treat, we've got you covered. Hot and fresh food every day, every time. And delicious DQ soft serve make the perfect pair at your favorite place. Not fast food, fan food fast. Your Blue Ridge, Ellijay, and Jasper Dairy Queens are your meet, eat, and treat headquarters.
Thank you for choosing DQ. How may I serve you?
Georgia Medical Treatment Center now has 2 locations to bring you the high-quality holistic care you've come to know and expect. We treat neck, back, and joint pain with chiropractic care and injection-based treatment without the need for surgery or prescription painkillers. Our medical weight loss program can also provide relief while ridding your body of toxins, pounds, and inches while improving your overall health. Call today for a free consultation, 770-345-2000, or go online to georgiamtc.com.
You know, how you feel on the inside is just as important to me as how you feel on the outside.
Oh, Daddy. my grown-up. Is there in every way. Care and take care of you. You're my grown-up and I know you're there. I'm your grown-up and you know I care. 'Cause it's you and me and me and you. So when you are okay or not okay, I'll take care of you.
Y'all come by and see us anytime you can.
Whether you're swimming in the sea or splashing in the pool, making a masterpiece, or just making memories, writing a great American novel, or writing your term paper that's due tomorrow. Whatever you do in life, Farmers is here to protect it. For all your insurance needs, call Donald Curtis in Blue Ridge.
Okay, y'all, I want to answer a question from a viewer who said, oh my gosh, he said he agrees with a lot of what I had to say, like 99.9%, but he wonders why I wouldn't support a female for president or vice president. I grew up not like J.D. Vance did at all. If you write my life story, which I've worked on for years and can't quite get there, you wouldn't see quite the violence you saw, but you would see some controversial things. You would see the fact that my father set up an abortion for my mother, and my mother didn't have the abortion. She had me, she saved me, kept me, and chose life. I try to look at everything as choosing life. I try to choose life, and I chose a life to support the conservative values early in life, because my mother was a member of the Orlando Republican Party, and she attended the meetings. It was drilled into my head, and I watched and watched and watched. My mother also grew up and climbed the ladder in corporate America, but never once did I ever see her at the top. I always saw her as the support system. I grew up with a mom who was part of a support system. I believe that women can do anything. After my husband passed away, I ran the trucking business. It wasn't easy because men looked at me and said, you know, I wish he was still here. Well, I wish he was still here too, but he wasn't. And it's hard to be a female in charge. So I think that in America, I just grew up with the values that men are strong, men are physically stronger than females are. Men have more, you know, we let our hormones get to us sometimes, and we cry, have a hissy fit. You know, that's what Southern women do. We have hissy fits, but we're allowed to do that. And that's part of being a woman. So why wouldn't I support a female for president? I really feel that at this time, especially in the world, we need to show strength. And I think that a very dominant male figure, good in business, shows strength. And I feel that a U.S. Marine, that's about as strong as you get. I'll take Army, Navy, Air Force, any of them. I was so hoping for military background in our vice presidency. I'm so excited. But as I watched the movie about J.D. Vance, I thought, how in the world did this man overcome what he grew up with? Well, I can look back at my life and say, how did I overcome it? I was a confused teenager looking for my father, trying to be accepted by my father, trying to be praised by my father, and I never got it. I never got that. So do I support female in presidency? Not yet. Not yet. Now, in my lifetime, I might. But we were laughing, and Hilda and I told y'all yesterday, we think the perfect scenario is Trump for 4 years, and then Vance and DeSanto for 8 years. I think it would be absolutely amazing. I still see strength in our military. I still feel that we need the presence of a strong male figure in the White House. Now, I also have friends who are Democrats, and when I was watching the program with Jen, I thought about her. She has a very, very dear friend who I know misses her like we do, who is a die-hard Democrat. We have friends that are Democrats, and we agree to disagree. But I still, in my heart of hearts, I just believe that we need a very strong male figure as the president. Maybe it's the way I grew up. Maybe it's what my mama taught me. I don't know, but that's how I accept life. I also have a hard time accepting the fact that women will vote based on one choice, because as a mom, I grew up in an era that had I been aborted, I wouldn't be here today. Had my daughter been aborted, wouldn't be here today. There are generations that wouldn't be here. And when I look at my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren, the choice was made to keep them, and I thank God every day for that. So why wouldn't I support a female president? I'm just not ready for it yet. And I don't know that in my lifetime I will be. But I support females running businesses. I support females at the top. But I still want that strength of that male who, I don't know. It had to be my upbringing. That's the only way I know how to explain it. So, once again, we support, me and my dear friends, we support President Trump. And yesterday, when we did this, I said, oh my gosh, I need a new sign. So today, I'm going to get me a new sign. This one is about tried and true. I've worn it out, but we still support a conservative value, a conservative lifestyle, and a lifestyle of getting us back to where we were, because we were in a great situation. The jobs were amazing, and things were happening. As a realtor, I had my best years ever in my lifetime during the 4 years under President Trump. So there you go. That's why I think the way I think. It had to be my mama's fault, because we blame everything on our mamas, right? Okay. Here we go to some really good music. Today is a day about memories. And you know, when I look back, I can see my mama coming home in Orlando. She worked in the corporate America, and she'd walk in and I would be sitting there and I'd be playing my records and my Beach Boys and the Beatles and all the things that were happening. I look back and that was a great time in my life. It was a very, very different time in America. I'd love to go back. So today we're going to take you back to some dear friends, and when I taped this, I said, you know, he won't be with us much longer. It's 2 years later and he's still here. So we're going to go enjoy some music from the Davis Brothers and Mr. Ellijay.
We're back on air, folks, and I want to tell you something. Back when I was a little boy, if it hadn't have been for the blues, I wouldn't have had a friend in the world. So that's how it works back in those days. You got one you want to sing for us?
Let's do a gospel
Let's
song.
do one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do one called Where Could I Go? Hit us a key there. Where could I go? Oh, where could I go? Seeking a refuge for my soul. Needing a friend to save me in the end. Where could I go but to the Lord? Living below in this old sinful world, hardly a comfort can afford. Striving alone to face temptation sore. Where could I go but to the Lord? Where could I go? Oh, where could I go? Seeking a refuge for my soul. Needing a friend to the Lord. You know, neighbors, they're kind. I love them, everyone. And we get along in sweet accord. But when my soul needs manna from above, where could I go but to the Lord? Where could I go? Oh, where could I go? Seeking a refuge for my soul, needing a friend to save me in the end. Where could I go but to the Lord? Needing a friend to save me in the end. Where could I go but to the Lord? Where could I go but to the
This is my tribute to you know who. That's over right now. My grandpa used to sing this song in church. When I was a little boy, he'd wear that brown suit, and he'd be singing it every Sunday. In the Bible we read of a city with streets that are paved with pure gold. We'll live in that city forever, and there we shall never grow old. In heaven we'll never grow old. In heaven we'll never grow old. We'll live in that city forever, and there we shall never grow old. In the Bible we read of a river that flows by the throne, we are told. We'll drink from the life-giving water, and there we shall never grow old. In heaven we'll never grow old. In heaven we'll never grow old. We'll live in that city forever, and there we shall never grow old. Then we read of the earth's weary Folks, everybody loves this one. Precious memories, unseen angel, sent from somewhere to my soul.
What sweet moments and what sweet memories. Today, as I look at, Jen and I had so much fun. Heart of the Home has been so much fun. We have had so many amazing memories. And thank you to all of you who have been part of that. One of the favorite memories I have is of a young preacher, Mike's a little bit younger than me, sitting here on the set one day, and he brought his book called God Keeps Showing Up. And I want to read just a short bit of something. This is on a page that he called, "We Don't Fool God." In today's world, I want you to really think about this. The Bible says, "I see everything they do. Nothing is hidden from me. Their sins do not escape my sight." Jeremiah 16:17. There is nothing that can be hid from God. Everything in all creation is exposed and lies open before his eyes. And it is to him that we must all give an account of ourselves. Hebrews 4:13. We need to keep reminding ourselves each day that nothing is hidden from God. If we all did that, I believe it would make a difference in how we live our lives each day. Today in America, we need something to laugh about. We need something fun. We need something that just brings us a smile. And when I was watching the memories and the playbacks, you know, when I did that interview with Vic Davis, it was 2 years ago. He was 88 years old. I thought, he won't be here much longer. I need to share him with our audience, and I did. It's 2 years later, and he's still here, and he's still happy, healthy, and watching us today. So Vic Davis, we love you, and we're so thankful for your life. We're so thankful for so many things, and we have had so much tragedy in the world. We've had so much loss. And I tell widows all the time, I promise you there is something worse than death. So if you're in an abusive situation, if you've been, you know, so many things go on that you think, I can't do any better, I'll have to stick it out, I'll just let him deal with it, I'll let him be mean to me. Don't do that. And I've talked to so many women who said, how do you find the strength to go away? How do you find the strength to fight it? You do by going to the Word of God. So today, find your strength in His Word. Pick up the Bible, find you a verse. My friend calls it lucky dipping. She'll just turn it on, find exactly what she's looking for, and I'm like, wow, how do you do that? Well, you do it because he's in charge. So today, laughter is going to be in charge of our day. We're going to share something with you now that we actually just put together a bunch of stuff from the past, and I couldn't do a memories program without including this. So here we go. I hope this will make you smile.
And it is so good to be back in Ellijay, Georgia.
That's right. Ain't it good to be back home again?
Yeah, it is, but
I wanted him to sing that song so bad. And
there's a storm across the valley. Clouds are rolling in. The afternoon is heavy on your shoulder. There's a truck out on the 4-lane, a mile or more away. The whining of his wheels just makes it colder.
We're going to give you this great apple recipe, really easy. Peanut butter bread and apples, that's pretty simple. And I bet you you're going to like it.
well, I don't think it'd be a good idea for me to try it on the set, because I may have to leave the set.
Now, we're not going to say that we stayed up all night long and did these, right? But we will say you took the motorhome under something that said 11 foot and the motorhome's 12 feet. How did we do that?
We wasn't sure we was going to be getting our wings this morning. Hey, it's good to be back home again. Sometimes this old farm feels like a long lost friend. Yes, and hey, it's good to be back home again. There's all. And if you was wondering why I was singing and doing this, because if you'll watch Sherry, she'll just sit there and she'll just. Oh, is that what you're doing? You're just rubbing your quilt.
I love my quilt. I love my quilt. Yes.
And your mother called last Friday. Sunshine made her cry. You felt the baby move just yesterday. Hey, it's good to be back home again. Sometimes this old farm feels like a long lost friend. Yes, and hey, it's good to be back home again.
Have a name, let's call them Misfits.
They might not appreciate that.
I don't know. Let's go down to some awesome music. Here we are, Matt Diamond.
And we're going this time.
We are.
All right, cut the camera off.
Madeline, yeah.
Listen, I will say is he's younger than me, and that's all I'm going to say.
Well, 58's younger than you. Try it again. It's not 58.
It's the sweetest thing I know of, just spending time with you. It's the little things that make a house a home. Like a fire softly burning, supper on the stove. The light in your eyes that makes me warm. Hey, it's good to be back home again. Sometimes this old farm feels like a long lost friend. Yeah, it's good to be back home again. Hey, it's good to be back home again. Sometimes this old farm feels like a long lost friend. Yes, and hey, it's good to be back home again. I said, hey, it's good to be back home again. My home's in Ball Ground, Georgia. No matter where I lay my head.
If tomorrow all the things were gone I'd worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife, I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt